I'm live. I don't know who's here because this is YouTube and it doesn't tell me. So, what's up this morning? Um, Yesterday we had our R2R, the cool kids live mastermind. You can see charts, graphs, decoded bullshit. Um, I mean, really and truly, for $30 a month, somebody left their lawn chair here. But I mean, I could do that. I could do that 2 times a month, and it wouldn't cost me anything because I just come to the office and do it, and then we do live streams and everything else. But this was a really cool experience. But in that, we dropped probably 6,000 ringless voicemails. So we dropped 6,000 ringless voicemails. We're getting the callbacks. Um, I'm currently pulling it up right now. So out of the 6,000, I don't know how many landed. Normally we get about a 40% land rate. But yesterday alone, we had 151 callbacks. The day before, we had 52. The day before that, we had 74. I mean, really, ringless voicemail is an amazing technology. But some of the things we covered yesterday is you can way outspend your skill set when it comes to doing this. So what I'm going to do right now is try to listen to some of these and see how angry people are.
Longing to. Hi, you've reached Chris Chapel at 214.
This is these are people doing callbacks. Everybody's calling back. Let's see what let's see. Called back. This is great. So today what the team's going to be doing is they're going to be calling back a few hundred people and trying to set appointments out of it. So yesterday while we were here, we let people in the class call back these leads and take their shot at what it is. We set scripts and objectives. This is great.
Yeah, Corey, returning your call. You left a message yesterday regarding my property I have listed in Cypress Head. So I missed you. Let me give you a better phone up.
So that's a listing. Obviously.
Hello? You told me to give you a call back, so here's your call back.
These are.
Oh, it's on me. I'm gonna call you. Leave me a message. I'll call you back.
That guy didn't know English. That's him. He called back 3 times in a row. Here we go. This one's labeled an opportunity.
Someone called me from this number about buying a house possibly. Call me back and let me know what address you're referring to. Thanks.
This is really good. Anyways, so that's kind of what we did yesterday. The calls that we did, I wish I could. I'm gonna see if I can find them in there because I want y'all to hear some of the things that went on. Let me see. It'd probably be page 2 by now. But we just kind of threw everybody in the fire and let them do the calls. So that's page 2. There's no callbacks on there. Maybe it is page 1 event. So here's 1 minute and 1 second.
Hello.
Hey, my name is Jason. Corey told me to call you. You get a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I got a lot. Well, I was planning on building on it in Westworth Village, but
That's the lot. It's probably a listing. He wants like 150,000 for it. See what this one is.
Hello, this is Bob Creed.
That's a voice message.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn.
That's Jocelyn's callback. I'm looking for DJs. DJ went after Jocelyn. Maybe this one.
Yeah, can you call me back? Is my
You have reached. Your call has been forwarded.
It's only 4 seconds. Is this old DJ?
Corey, I've had several calls from you.
We were calling. This is DJ.
Who is this?
This is Corey Thompson.
Okay, please don't call my phone.
Why not?
Click. Oh, where's DJ's at? Anyways, it was pretty fun yesterday. The thing that we tried to cover in there is having a script, knowing what you're going to say, knowing the objection before you get there. It's all sales type stuff. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comment section. Some of the things that we're getting ready to do in the next couple of months is I think everybody's having an event. What I did, I bought tickets. I bought a suite to GrowthCon. I've never gone to GrowthCon. I saw Carlos and them's interview with Grant Cardone. I'd reached out to somebody on his team, actually an R2R group member, and was like, hey, what's it take to interview Grant Cardone? He told me there's a process you got to go through. And I was like, look, what's your role there? And he said he was in charge of sponsorships for GrowthCon. We kind of got to chopping it up and negotiated out a deal where if I buy a suite to GrowthCon, I could get a Grant Cardone interview. We could do an interview for R2R to basically, try to sell more tickets, try to get more people involved, try to get more people to go out there from the group to GrowthCon so we could all hang out in Vegas. I don't take very many vacations. Vegas is my absolute favorite place on planet Earth. I love to gamble. That's probably the biggest reason I need to stay away from there. But I want to do the interview with Grant. I want to have a chance to talk to somebody that's light years ahead of me in a business that I obviously love and have passion for. And getting that opportunity is really the opportunity of a lifetime for me. So once I got this suite, I've got 10 tickets to the suite. I've obviously paid money for GrowthCon. And then everybody else started pouring on events. You've got Max Maxwell's event in Atlanta that's happening at the beginning of February. You got another event that's happening at the end of February, and Grant Cardone's is literally the week before. And I was like, well, that's going to be a really, really expensive month for a lot of real estate entrepreneurs and a lot of people that are wanting to learn more about real estate investing. They're going to have a hard time coming up with money to go do all these things. So, it was like, what can I do to bring value to people, but also make it an experience? So what we've done, what we're in the process of doing is booking a space that's going to include lodging and all of that. So, try to help with some of the cost. We're all going to be living together for basically the better half of a week. And if you've got any questions or you've got anything that you want to know, like it's right there. Plus, we're going to get the networking of GrowthCon. Guys, I went to a networking event, and I'm going to post this in R2R to the group here in a second. I went to a networking event with 40 people, maybe 40 people. It's probably closer to 20 people. And already I got $250,000 that's wanting to either partner or lend on real estate deals. Now, I'm not saying that those 20 people, they all might have had $1 million in the bank. I don't really know. Okay. But this particular gentleman, we were chopping it up, talking about recession, talking about inverted yield curves, talking about all this sort of stuff. And he was like, hey, I want to do some business with you. I want to learn more. I want to tour your properties. I want to do this. Now, right now we have a glut of cash. We have over $1 million coming back within the next 2 months. So we have a glut of cash. We are not currently trying to take on more properties. We're trying to stabilize the ones we got. So we're actually looking at doing some lending and stuff ourselves to be able to hold on to that private capital. So when we do get ready to buy more properties, it's waiting and available for us. But just that experience right there in a room of 20 will lead you to believe that if you go to GrowthCon, a place where a lot of people, they're not real estate people, but they're salespeople, they're sales professionals, they're sales managers. They own car dealerships and stuff like that. And what do they do when they make money? They want to park it in real estate, or they want to loan it. And maybe a 10-year fund with a grant isn't really, they don't want to lock their capital up that long. So maybe they're looking to do some shorter term lending. It's going to be the people in the room that you're going to go for. The speakers on stage, yeah, you might get value. You should get value out of what they're saying. They're going to sell you. They're going to pitch you. They're going to try to get you to buy a program. You already know that going in. They're sales professionals, so you might end up getting got and buying something. But really what you're there for is the network. You're there to meet people. You're there to shake their hand and tell them what you're doing and tell them what you have to offer them. And within that is the subset of the R2R group. Now, the people that are going to come out in the R2R group, I think they're going to be a good time in Vegas. That's just a small prediction that shenanigans will be had. I don't know that for a fact. I won't be drinking, hopefully, but if I do, it'll turn into a shit show pretty fast. So what I want to do, y'all aren't asking any questions. I could sit here and talk about bullshit in Vegas and how hard it is to put something together and all of that all day, but I don't really want to do that. I want to answer questions and draw up on the whiteboard. I'm not going to do any callbacks here because it's Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, but I would love to answer questions. I would love to pencil out some deals. I would love to talk real estate with y'all. I'll show y'all right quick. I'll show you one of the things I did yesterday. There's been a lot of debate about this, at least where we at minute wise. We're at 11 minutes. Okay. There's been a lot of debate about taxes on sub twos. Okay. 11 minutes. I got to remember that, so I put it in the comment section. So there's been a ton of talk in the groups about what taxes on sub twos look like. And I kind of want to show y'all something because this is how we accidentally set our business up that ended up working out really well for us. Because when we got involved in sub two, we hired somebody to teach us how to do sub two. Okay. We hired them. They told us everything we needed to do to execute a subject to transaction. In other words, to buy one and sell one on a wrap. They never, who we got? Yes, we can all wear matching Mexican American shirts. Absolutely. So anyways, they told you how to execute one. They told you the legalities of getting one across the finish line. But on the backside of a sub two, on the backside of any owner finance transaction is the income that it produces. So you can go, I'm not a CPA. I'm not giving tax advice. I don't know exactly what the laws are or any of that stuff. None of that. I just know that we're on our third CPA, and all three CPAs will show us the litigation that this is the way to file. Now, I know people that file theirs on installments. That's fine. That's great. If you want to do that, that's your business, not us. Okay. So this is your LLC, your holding company. Okay. And I'm going to move this down because it's right there in the glare. I'm going to move it down a little bit. But you got an LLC. Okay. Your holding company. Holding LLC. Now you'll hear a lot of people talk about asset protection and breaking them out into separate entities and all of that, owning each rental property in a separate entity. I can tell you that we're getting a government-backed loan right now on our first apartment complex. They're making us put it in a separate entity. Okay. At the beginning of your illustrious real estate career, you're debt loaded. So your assets are protected by debt because when lawyers see your debt, they're not really going to come after something that doesn't have any money. Okay. The way that you protect that is with insurance. You protect the holding company with insurance. You get a Q&E or errors and omission, an E&O policy. You get an umbrella policy. You get several insurance policies because the risk of getting sued isn't losing the lawsuit. It's having to litigate the lawsuit. Okay. If you get sued and you got a separate LLC, guess what the separate LLC is going to have to do? It's going to have to pay the legal bills. Okay. You're losing the lawsuit is not your concern. Having to settle is not your concern. Having to pay for lawyers is your concern. That's why an insurance policy is your absolute best friend because they hire the lawyers. Okay. It's that simple. Anybody who says differently has never been sued. We have settled our first lawsuit. Okay. The insurance policy that we had was not adequate for the lawsuit that we got. So we went through and sat down with different insurance agents. We got about 3 more policies. Those policies cost us about $6,000 a year. Way cheaper than having to pay for an attorney for one lawsuit. Okay. So you've got your holding LLC. In this holding LLC or in this LLC, your single LLC that you probably got, you on this side, you have your rentals. Okay. In the middle, you have your flips, which includes wholesales. Okay. And over here, you have your owner finance. And you do all of this, all of it, out of this one LLC. So you've got rentals. Now, from the way that this shakes out, or at least shook out for us, and this was something I ad-libbed yesterday because I wanted people to understand this. Okay. We got lucky. I don't do this. Jacob does this. This is not legal advice. This is not tax advice. It's just how we do it. Okay. Rentals for us represent depreciation. Depreciation, I can't even spell it, but basically, if you make 100K through everything, rentals, flips, owner finance, everything, you make 100K, but on your rentals, you get to depreciate that year, either your personal property, like this printer, like all of this stuff you see, like this whiteboard that you get to, there's a cost segregation analysis that's going to tell you what the depreciation schedule is for personal property inside of your rentals as personal properties, whether it be, I don't know if the sink's personal property, but you've got the fridge, the stove, the washer, the dryer. I think the roof can be personal property. I'm not sure. You'll need to get a cost segregation analysis, but you get to depreciate, take a lot of depreciation up front. If you haven't been doing this, you can go back and capture it. But if you made 100K and your CPA says your depreciation schedule, your depreciation income is 100K, your depreciation or profits, I guess would be the way, profit. Your depreciation is 80K. You only pay taxes on the 20K. All right. The bank, when they see your income tax return, when you take your tax return to the bank, they know what depreciation is. They know it's just a number that you get to claim. So they give you credit for the entire 100K as income. Okay. The bank will. All right. So rentals represent depreciation, and I'm going to end up writing depression, but I'm just going to depreciation. Your flips are income. People are like, Corey, why aren't your rentals income? Because rentals don't make money. Sorry. Sorry to burst your bubble. There's plenty of money that's made on the front side of a rental, but then you get a roof, and in one rental's cash flow doesn't exist for that year. Then you make it through that year, and then the AC goes out, and there goes another year's cash flow, maybe even 2 years. Then you have hot water heater vacancies. They just don't make money. Your debt that's being paid down is your savings account. When these rentals, as rent goes up, you're hedging against inflation. It's depreciation. It's not going to be income. It's going to be, you're going to have to scale to an extreme measure before you make any income off your rentals. So they represent depreciation. Your flips / wholesales represent income. Okay. So you've got it. Now, income. So I'm so bad at writing on boards. Income. Okay. Profit. All of that. Revenue. Difference between profit and revenue is revenue. So this is how income is what you're going to use to eat. It's what you're going to use to pay your personal bills. It's what you're going to use to fund your employees on the months that the rentals take a big drink. Okay. And by a big drink, I mean go vacant. Like this summer, we had 30 units a month going vacant. 30 units a month, every single month of this summer going vacant. Okay. So then you get your owner finance. What does owner finance represent? Okay. we do a handful of owner finance now a year. They're the ones that need too much work, and we don't want to put work into them to put them in the rentals. So we owner finance them out. We take a little down, wrap it, either private money or this new bank we got that allows us to wrap. That's most of the time we want to hold it as rental, but if it needs too much work or it's too far away or it's just a one-off property in some small town that we bought for like 10,000, but we know we can owner finance it for 40 or 50, then we'll owner finance that all day long. But what does it represent in my mind? If flips represent income, rentals represent depreciation, what does owner finance represent? Owner finance, in my mind, trying to think of how to word this because I don't want to put a negative connotation on it. The way I worded it yesterday, I didn't like later on. Non-realized income. Okay. This right here, this, and that's not even how you spell realized. My phone don't spell it for me. I can't spell. But owner finance, the part that the gurus never tell you, and you can ask all the sub-2 gurus, every single one of them will tell you the exact same thing. I'm not a CPA. You need to go talk to your CPA about it. But on your taxes, there's inventory. Okay. Flips, you bought to sell, is inventory. You cannot sell inventory on an installment sale. In other words, the way you claim it on your taxes cannot be on an installment sale. So you bought it for $10K, you're selling it for $50K. You didn't realize the gain because the $50K is owner finance, so you got a $50K note. So it's an installment transaction. You pay the taxes on the money, on the principal, as you collect it, okay? You cannot do that with inventory. It's very clear. The statute's very clear. What comes back to the intent of why you bought it. You bought this house to sell. You bought this house to sell, okay? It's not inventory. I mean, it is inventory. It's not a property bought for, quote-unquote, investment purposes on what it holds. Now, your rentals, after you've held on to them for a lot of CPAs say at least a year, they're not inventory. So you can sell them owner finance, and even though you bought them for $10,000, you can sell them for $50,000 and not have to pay the taxes up front. You can do the installment sell method of reporting on your taxes. But what this means is on this $10K to $50K transaction, on your income tax return, since you can't take it on an installment sale, since you can't claim it on an installment sale, it shows up as $40K of revenue. It shows up that you made $40,000, same as it would be if you sold something for $40,000 and put the $40,000 in the bank account. That's how it shows up on your income tax. So you owe taxes on the $40K. All right. If all you do is owner finance and flip, okay, or if really all you do is owner finance, you get to the end of the year and you made $400K because you did 10 of them, and you didn't collect $400K, you just made $400K, and now you owe 35% or whatever the tax rate is on the $400K. You're kind of fucked. And the only way to do it is on an installment sale. You can do whatever you want at that point in time. There's nobody looking over your shoulder. But if you end up having to explain it to somebody, if you get audited, then you're gonna have to explain it. So for us, when I found this out, I was like, oh shit, Jacob. I'm reading on the internet, and this is what it says. And Jacob says, we've been paying taxes on that the whole time. I'm like, dude, what? How did we do that? Because I knew at that point we had like $1 million worth of notes or $1.2 million worth of notes, whatever it was. And I was like, how did we afford that? And he's like, the income across all three. So you got non-realized income, you got income, and you got depreciation. Comes back to this over here. It's all in the same entity. So the depreciation from the rentals offsets the non-realized income from the owner finance. The insurance protects is your asset protection. The insurance and the debt is your asset protection okay? And you're doing it all out of the same entity. Now, we are breaking our rentals out right now as we acquire more of them. We're breaking them out, but that's more from a bookkeeping. It's for bookkeeping. It's not for asset protection or any of the other stuff. And it'll all go back to the holding LLC. Everything flows back. It'll be a common return. And I don't know shit about that, so I shouldn't even be talking about it. This is not tax advice. I don't give a fuck about it. The only thing I'm telling you is when you get ready to owner finance or do sub 2, you need to ask the guru that's selling you that, what, how, who's your CPA, and when can I sit down and have a conversation with them, and when will they show me the litigation for how they do it. And if you don't have any intentions of doing rentals, if you don't have any intentions of owning rentals and you just want to do notes, you better figure out how to do a lease option or something creative at the front to where now you're selling them all on a lease option for a year, okay, which Texas law gets a little hairy. You got some tricks you got to go anywhere else you want to do that. But if you sell it on a lease option at the front side, then you can deed it over to them with a deed of trust after a year. I don't know if that's a workaround or not. I really don't. But you need to have that conversation with your lawyer or your CPA. You need to figure that one out, because what you don't want to do is what a friend of mine did, take off and do a whole bunch of owner finances and not do any rentals and then get a big tax bill and just be sitting there holding the bag. So I don't see any more questions. I don't know who's watching. I'm going to upload this video, and the only thing I'm going to say is go to the 11-minute mark for the good shit, because the rest of it wasn't that great. But I appreciate y'all's support. Facebook's got me blocked. Can't go live on Facebook. I don't know if I'll ever go live on Facebook again, honestly, because every time a phone rings on there, it thinks it's some song, and it's just going to make it hard. So I'll probably be doing 90% of my stuff through YouTube moving forward, just because I don't want to get blocked on Facebook Lives. I'll still walk properties on Facebook and do all that because it's just easy. I can do it from my phone. But as far as callbacks and stuff like that, it's all going to happen on YouTube Live, and we'll just hide the link and stuff like that. So anyways, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate your support. Got any questions about Vegas, drop it in the comment section when it's happening and all that sort of stuff. It's happening the same weekend as GrowthCon. We're booking the venue coming up. If you're not in Roughneck Real Estate, if you found this on YouTube itself, and you're not in Roughneck Real Estate, the Facebook group, that's the easiest way to get in touch with me. If you're wondering that, jump in there. I appreciate y'all's time, and I'll see you later. Oh, man, there's been a share button here the whole time. I could have shared this bitch. Didn't know. Later.